I saw Hereditary last night. I never see movies when they're culturally relevant, so this is pretty impressive for me. I always see them when they're not cool anymore, and I'll be like, oh wow, this movie was really good. You guys seen this movie? And they're like, yeah, fucking yes, we saw that movie when it was a talk on the town 2 years ago when people were like, wow, that's a good movie. You're way too fucking late, Chris. That's what people are always saying to me. And you know what they're not going to say this week? That. They're going to say, wow, Chris, really topical and good, poor, and well-timed. Good job. Stuff like that, probably. Anyway, this isn't the movie I'm talking about. This is personal business. I loved it. Obviously, I like most things, so you're really not going to get a lot of things that I'm like, oh, that sucked. Damn, wish that was better. But, I mean, obviously, it was so good. I say obviously because, let's real quick go to Small Cam. Look at these damn reviews. Rotten Tomatoes, 91. IMDb, we're rocking an 8. Metacritic, 87. And, I mean, I've seen tweets. I've been recently judging... I mean, I always go by a number. I like to Google it and see high numbers, and then I can be like, wow, look at those reviews on that movie. We must go see that one. But also, when people tweet, when people are tweeting a lot about a movie being really good, and Hereditary is one of those. Like, A Quiet Place was fucking killing it on people that I like and follow that were like, wow, A Quiet Place was breathtaking. What an outstanding movie. You should go watch it. So a similar thing happened with Hereditary. So people are liking it. Everybody's liking it. And you know what? I freaking like it. It was intensively scary. It was like not cheap shot scary. Like it wasn't like, oh man, everything's quiet and I know the formula. And as soon as they turn around, there's going to be a bang loud noise to scare the hoot and the howler out of me. And it wasn't that. It was really good about like creative ways of being scary. I'm not going to spoil anything. I mean, I might spoil. I'm probably not going to spoil anything. No, I won't. I won't spoil anything major. I promise. Okay. I really hope I don't have to take back that promise. Yeah, they were good about not being cheap with their thrills, cheap with their spookies. It was stuff that was like legitimately creepy and unsettling and not overdone tropes. And I mean, I can even get down with that. I'm down with some horror movies that are like cliche and you know shit's coming and you're kind of anticipating on it. That can be fun. But Hereditary was not that. It was fun in a totally original and cool way. I mean, there's this part where a character that I'm not going to spoil is up on the ceiling, and you had to like kind of catch it in the background at the beginning. And I remember one of the people I was watching this movie with was like, "Did you fucking see that? Did you just notice that?" And I was like, "Yeah." No, wait, no, what? And I noticed a totally different thing that wasn't that. And then I was like, "Oh damn, that!" And then I was scared because it was scary. But yeah, so shit like that was awesome. And, I mean, that was such a terrible description of what scary was. But, I mean, there were so many parts. The end was creepy. The whole thing was, like, frightening. Everything was unsettling. There were so many scenes that were just, like, so uncomfortable that it was, like, that type of scary, too. There's this one part that, if you've seen it, you know what I'm freaking talking about. Holy shit, the trailers were so good that I did not see coming at all. And when it happened, it was, I just had to sit. A character was sitting in silence coping with what happened, and so was I. It was so fucking out of nowhere in a really good way. And hot damn, was it exciting. It was a thrill. And it was just, it was a constantly exciting movie. I love a good horror movie. It was legitimately unique. I mean, the trailers did such a good job. I had no idea what that movie was about for the most part. And going into it, but I was still sold and invested in seeing it because the trailer was so good, because the trailer looked scary and intriguing and cinematic and weird, and it was all those things. And the trailer like did this other little thing that I'm not going to spoil, but like it shows this one portion that you think, right when you see the beginning of the movie, you're like, oh, that portion that I saw in the trailer makes sense now. But motherfucker, you're wrong, because when the big twist thing happens at about 45 minutes in that I'm talking about, it throws everything for a little curve. And then the thing that was in the trailer that I remember thinking I had all figured out was actually not at all. Did any of that make sense? That was convoluted, but it was good. I'm just saying the advertising was good. I love when trailers are really good and don't tell me what the movie's about, but make the movie look really good, and then also the movie ends up being good. What? That's what this was. But, yeah, so I mean, like, the beginning of the movie, I won't spoil anything besides the first, like, 10 minutes, but the grandmother has just died. That's, like, the first scene is, like, her little, obituary card on the screen, and then it's sort of this dysfunctional family that's all, dysfunctional as dysfunctional families are. and they're sort of dynamic, and they're coping with the loss of this lady who they kind of didn't really like. Nobody's really that sad about it, but then it's like the aftermath of that, and then there's a creepiness with that, and then the creepiness just develops, and it's this mom and this daughter and this son and this dad, and shit's just weird, man. And it's just it's a cool movie. It was a good horror movie. Take my word for it. I mean, it's like, what can I compare it to? It's like, I don't want to say Conjuring, because I know Conjuring's really good, Conjuring's really cool, but Conjuring's less, like, unique. Conjuring's just a really good execution of, like, a kind of basic concept of a horror movie, but Hereditary was just so unique with, like, the things that it's about. Let's go not just on Chris Cam. How about that? Let's look at some pictures. Maybe we can I can talk about some things. I guess not. That's the daughter. I mean, by default, obviously, it's a great face for a daughter in a horror movie. That sounds so mean. I mean, I could be a horror movie character too. I'm a fool-looking boy, you know what I'm saying? But I mean, she was so good. And I think I've dropped a lot of ahs. I gotta work on that. Another thing on this channel is I just gotta work on freaking talking. But besides the fact that the story was so original and unique, with the plot and the writing and the cinematography and all of it, the acting was ridiculous. The mom, what's her name? Let's go back to screen capture mode. The mom, I'm so bad at acting names these days because, you know, I'm getting old. Memories are hard. Millie Shapiro, that's the daughter. Toni Collette? That's her, yes, Toni Collette. What the fuck's she been in? Because she was literally outstanding. I mean, she was so believably crazy. I love believably crazy in movies. Sometimes crazy gets pretty awkward in movies when it's like, oh, this is an actor acting crazy, and I can see that. But nah, dog, she was, like, crazy good. She sold the movie in terms of, like, the creepy mom losing her mind aspect. She was so good, so believable. And the son, fucking Naked Brothers Band, what's his name? Let's go back a little here. No. Alex Wolff, there you are. Freaking Alex Wolff. Okay, I watched Death Note. I watched the Death Note Netflix movie, and you better believe Alex Wolff was tainted for me. But you know what? He's recovered. He crushed in this movie, too. His part was obviously the dysfunctional family son, and everybody's seen the trailer at this point, so, like, there's that scene where he looks in the mirror, and there's, like, the little... let's go full. It's like a... in the reflection, but he's not really doing that, so it's like a back at him, but he's like, you know what I'm saying? And so everybody who's seen the trailer has seen that scene, and then he smashes his face off the desk. You know what I'm talking about. He crushed it in that scene. The response of the what the fuck was great. He was believably terrified throughout the whole movie when things were terrifying. And the one scene that I was talking about earlier, that's the crazy twist of the movie that came out of fucking nowhere, that was like, what just happened? What happened to me emotionally right there? The cinematography that followed that scene, and where they chose to, like, follow frame-wise, what they chose to look at, and his actual, like, performance on right after that thing happened was just so ridiculous. He was so good. And there was a lot of emotion acting, a lot of face acting. You know, when people... Oops, I didn't know I have a thing where I can get rid of me, but we're fucking not. Keep looking at me. You know how there's sometimes good acting where they're not saying anything, but you can just kind of see it in their face that they're acting and feeling emotions and doing an incredible job of it? Well, he did that when shit was going down, and it was so good. And there was this other scene with him and the mom that ended up being this dream sequence. I won't go too into it, but he was so good in that scene too. She was obviously incredible as well, but holy shit, the two of them crushed in that scene. It was so creepy and like such a awkward family way, and it was a good movie. I loved Hereditary. I knew I was gonna love it, but let me tell you, I saw it at a creepy time too. I would definitely recommend, if you haven't seen it yet, go see it at a creepy, spooky time. We saw it. We can close out of Alex Wolff. How about that? Let's go back to Hereditary. I saw it at a creepy time. I saw it at 10:45 p.m. Wow, that's a scary time. Even just saying it, I'm feeling frightened. I was supposed to see it at 7:45. It sold out, and we settled. We settled with 10:45, and I would definitely recommend spooky time, because then driving home at 1:45 after everybody was dropped off and I was alone in my car on the roads in the woods, it was spooky. It was spooky. But It was great. I loved it. And my only flaw with the movie was the motherfucker sitting next to me. If you're watching this, I hope you're one of the 7 people to watch these. He was the most. I don't know how it is physically possible to eat popcorn at the volume he ate popcorn, but he's shoving his hand in the bag, and there was just this wet vacuum suction of a noise that he would make every time he would insert a popcorn into his jowls, and it drove me crazy. Almost took me out of the movie at the beginning. I couldn't pay attention to what the fuck was happening because all I was hearing was crinkle, 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 and it was getting to me, let me tell you. Then he had like a girlfriend with him, which good for him. He's got a love life or whatever. That's excellent. But her legs were sprawled across him, and her shoes and socks were off in the theater, and they were like inches from my knee. At least put a sock on if you're gonna keep it so close to me. And I don't want to be the type of guy yet that's like also he was talking a shit ton too at room volume. I mean, just whisper. I whisper, sometimes you gotta make comments, sometimes you gotta make a good joke. But this ass face was not whispering. This guy was talking at full volume, talking in a living room type volume like we're talking now. I'm a little loud, actually. A little quieter than this. But trust me, it wasn't a convenient volume. And I don't want to be a shusher yet. I'm just not ready for that yet. Or a type of dude that's like, hey, can y'all put socks on? I feel like, hey, everybody, maybe we all keep some socks on. You guys feel like you should put socks on? I got my socks. I don't want to be that type of guy yet. You know what I mean? So I just sat passively to the right and complained into Jenny's ear about how I was feeling about the situation. But besides that, the movie was great. I had a great time watching it. I love seeing a good horror movie in theaters when it's really loud and spooky and there's not people... besides him, everybody was pretty good. Sometimes in horror movies, at the movies, people are a little misbehaved. People make jokes, and sometimes people shout, and people will, like, laugh, or do their shit that people do. But it was a great movie-going experience, except for my man to my left. And about the ending, I know, obviously, I can't spoil it here, but my take on the ending in terms of how I feel, if I liked it or not, I did, and I loved how much it connects everything together. I mean, at first glance, it's a little just like crazy. I'll say that without that being a spoiler. And so a few opinions on the internet that I've read are people that are like, wow, that ending was out of nowhere. Again, wow, what a silly ending. But my take on the ending was it connected everything. It made me think about the whole movie again. And then there's like all these little things, like I won't get too specific about it, but like the son of the grandmother, who it's just this conversation in passing that they talk about, who's like this schizophrenic kid that a bad thing ended up happening to him, and then you realize at the end of the movie, after like the big twist at the end happens, why the son did that and how he falls into this line, and then also with the daughter, and then also now with the next son, and it's just like this interesting writing that ended up tying everything together. And it's one of those endings that, like, if you really think about, and I'm sure if I rewatched it and you piece everything together, it does make a lot of sense. And like this other character who is what's her name, Aunt Lydia, but that's not who she is in this. Aunt Lydia is from Handmaid's Tale. She is, what the fuck's her name? I was hoping this would get me her real name. Okay, I guess go back. Hereditary cast. Ann Dowd, yeah, she was worth naming. She was incredible too. But her character, and then at the end, with the little twist that happens, you get more information about her character, and just, that's almost a spoiler, but I swear it's not. And then it ties a lot of stuff together, and I'm trying to be really vague about this, but I loved that portion of writing, and I like a good ending that makes you put little pieces of the puzzle together, and then if you're into it enough, it fills potential plot holes because it all makes sense. And that's how I felt about that movie. Even though the ending was a little like, what just happened? It was also like, oh, now I get this and this and this and this. Okay, did any of that make sense? I tried to be really vague. I'm hoping this is spoiler free. Maybe next time we just go for fucking spoilers. I think I'm gonna, okay? But we tried it on this one, so this is open to everybody. I loved the movie. You should definitely go see Hereditary. Great horror movie. Scary, spooky, good writing, great acting, incredible cinematography. Cinematography was my favorite. And I'd give it four fingers out of 4 fingers on this scale. Let's not stick to that. We're not doing a fucking scaling system on this, okay? I just want to talk about the fact that I liked the movie, okay? And I did. It was great. Let's go full-time big Chrissy screen. I actually don't have anything else to say. I should have gone full-time big Chrissy screen for those final notes. But go see Hereditary. Get the hell out there. Woo! Hey. That was not the best burp. I was hoping it'd be better. Okay, great horror movie. Good job to the team, or whatever. See you next time.